Okay, so today we're going to do a mobility program. This is something we posted a couple of weeks ago, and it should just be nice and easy, so you can just use this if you've been sat at a desk for a long while. We also gave you the idea of using this as a little bit of a warm-up program, so if you were going to go into one of our higher intensity sets that we've put out, like the plyometric set, then obviously this is quite useful to get you warmed up and get you moving before you start that. We're starting with lunges with a T-spine rotation. Now I'm going to try and mirror these back for you so that it makes it easy for you to follow. So we're going to start with a long lunge and a rotation. So just for a demo, this is how the exercise is going to look. So we'd lead with the right leg. The right arm is going to come inside the knee and place on top of the foot so that we stabilise the foot. And then the left hand is just going to touch the big toe. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate that arm around without changing on too much on the chest. We're not going to fling the arm around. We're trying to rotate round, reach, stretch out that upper back, and come back to the start point. 1, rotate round, back to the start point for 2 reps. And then we're going to step up, and then we're going to alternate, and we're obviously going to lead them with the left leg and in and rotate and rotate. Okay, so that's how the exercise looks. We're going to do 4 reps on each side, so we're going to do 8 total with 2 rotations each time. Okay, so we'll start with that right leg. So we're going to lead forward, big lunge. We're going to put the hand on top of the foot, and then we're going to rotate round. So 1, reach, 2, back, and then step up, and then we lead with the left leg. So left leg down, left hand on top of the foot, rotate round, 1, 2, and back. There we go. So that's 1 set through. We've got 3 more to do. Right leg, hand, stabilize, rotate, squeeze, and back. Good. Okay, and left leg. 1, 2. Okay, and if we go again. So we're really trying to reach round without too much help from the chest. We're just trying to reach round and rotate at the spine. Last one. So we're just going to go with that left leg, right leg. 1, 2, and back, and last one. So good long lunge, stabilize, 1, 2, and done. Okay, so now that's that one done, we're going to move on to what are almost like weightlifting stretches. These are squat mechanics, so things that we'd use in the gym quite often when we're going to do a lower body day. The first one that we're going to do is working on ankle mobility. So what we're going to do is we're going to set ourselves up for a squat, so feet roughly shoulder width apart, feet facing forwards. They don't have to be at 12 o'clock, but we don't really want them too far rotated out, so try and face your feet forward. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop into a squat. You're going to keep your hands together so that when we get down into the bottom of the squat, we're going to push the elbows into the knees, and we're going to try and jam them knees out slightly, and then we're going to rock left to right to try and bring the knee over the top of the feet to obviously try and get this ankle mobility increased if we can. So just as an example, before we start, we drop into the squat, we get the elbows into the knees, and we just lightly rock left to right. And we're going to do this for 15 seconds, and then we'll stand up and take a break. So each time we're trying to rock to get more mobility out of the ankle, but to try and see if we can get that knee slightly over the foot. Okay, so we're going to do this 4 times for 15 seconds each set. Okay, so we're going to start feet roughly shoulder width again, into the squat position and drop down. Jam them elbows into the knees, try and keep your chest up, and we're just going to rock slightly right to left. Try and keep your heels down, try and keep your chest up. But the main aim of this is if we can get a little bit more mobility out of those ankles. If you can't hit the depth, it's not the end of the world. Don't worry about that, that will come in time. And we just keep gently rocking right to left. And we rest. Okay, you might want to shake your legs off a little bit, because obviously we sit in this lower position, so it can feel like your hips are a little bit tighter. But we're going to work on some lunges later that should help that again. So we set up again, hands together, drop down, elbows in, slight rock, If you feel like you can take a little bit more mobility, then do, and just try and force a little bit more movement. You don't have to constantly rock. If you feel like you can just sit and gradually nudge a little bit more mobility there, then great. Just drop in. Good. And up again. So like I say, shake the legs off. We do 2 more sets of this, and then we'll move on. Okay, so we set, drop, elbows, chest up, and we rock. Good, just keep getting that mobility. Just try and get a little bit more range each time. And we stand up. Just 1 more to do. So we use these quite a lot when we go into squat mechanics with people in the gym. And you find these really useful when we've managed to get back into the gym one day, that these are a nice way to warm up rather than just kind of going through loads and loads of different types of squat. These are a good way to get some more ankle mobility so that you don't end up coming up onto your toes when you squat, things like that happen. Last one, so set, elbows in, chest up, and rock. Just keep forcing that chest up. It's easy just to let it go. Try and keep the shoulders back as well. And relax. Okay, and that's that one done. Okay, so we're going to move on to exercise 2. This is going to work on the same mechanics of what we just did. So we're going to drop into a squat and we're going to get a rotation through the T-spine. Now, obviously, we spoke about the T-spine a couple of times today, and that is the part of your spine that goes from the base of your neck and then drops down to just below your shoulder blades. Now, what we're trying to work on that for is because we're probably sat at desks all day and we're typing and we've got this sort of like rounded shoulders going on. We're trying to get this rotation so that we can retract these scapula and try and get a little bit more rotation through this spine, which is meant to be mobile. This part of your spine from up here to down below your shoulder blades should be able to rotate, and it should be movable, so it shouldn't be solid, and that's when you can sort of get these tight back issues, and musculature around it becomes really tight and knotted. So we're going to work on something very similar. So this is just for the demo. So feet shoulder width apart, we're going to drop into that squat again. So we're going to go right hand under the right foot, and we're just going to slightly put some pressure on them fingers, and then we're going to use the left hand to just rotate round for 4 reps. So 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, I'm still jamming my elbow into the knee to try and keep that glute switched on, and I'm also trying to keep my chest up, and then I'm squeezing round to rotate and get as much mobility out of that twist as I can. So we're going to do 4 reps on each side, and then we're going to do 3 sets of this. Okay, so we're going to start off squat position, get set, drop down, right hand under right foot, left hand touches the top of the palm, and we're going to rotate round, touch, round. So squeeze, rotate that spine. 4, brilliant. Okay, and we stand, take a little bit of load off the legs, and now we're going to switch. So this time we're going left hand under left foot. So drop down, left hand under left foot, touch, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that's 1 set through, and we're going to do 2 more now. So a little bit of a break, and now we're trying to look for, can we get that squat a little bit deeper while keeping the chest up? Can we get a little bit more rotation through the arm so that we can get the arm a little bit further back? That's what we're aiming to try and do. Every rep we do, we try and increase the range of motion. So squat position, down, right hand under right foot, and then rotate round. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. Rest it off, shake it off. Left hand under left foot, down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. Okay, last one. Probably a little tip that we might have been able to mention a little bit earlier. So we've found before, a lot of people tend to find this sort of low squat position quite difficult, and you'll end up on your toes. So the heels might come up, which means this mobility through your calf isn't great. So sometimes it's fine, or it is fine, to put something under your heel so that you can just get a little bit more dorsiflexion, basically, so it gives you a little bit of a help with that drop down. So when you drop down into the squat, you're able to get a little bit more depth, and you might feel that these stretches are a little bit easier to accomplish. All right, so last one. We're just going to put right hand on the right foot again, and 4 rotations. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Up. And last one. Left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up, and rest. Okay, when we move on and work on is the overhead squat. This is just to get everything moving, basically. We've done these before in a couple of videos, and we've also done videos on the overhead squat assessment as well. This is a really good way to find out maybe what's tight and what's underactive in your body. So if you wanted to check out our Instagram, that's got a load of posts coming out soon about how you can fix these little issues that come up. So we're going to start with the overhead squat, same position as we started in the last couple of exercises, but we're just going to raise the arms nice and high and reach up for the sky. And then we're going to drop into a squat, trying to keep the heels in the floor, trying to track the knees over the toes, trying to also keep the chest up. A lot to think about, but we're going to go through 12 reps of this, have a break, and then we're going to go through 3 sets altogether. Okay, so just from the side when we drop the squat, so you can see arms are raised nice and high, pushing the hips and knees move at the same time. So as I drop down, my bum and my knees drop down, and then I drive up to the top. Okay, so once you're ready, get your feet set, reach up, and we're going through 12 reps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep trying for depth if you can. Keep them arms back. 12. Okay, and relax. Okay, they're not the easiest thing to do at all. So sometimes you might find that using a box, a step, a chair can be useful to try and allow you to hit a depth without going too far, basically, so you can just manage it a little bit easier. So like a box squat or a step squat. So all I do here with that chair behind me is getting set, drop down, sit to the ground, then I can just worry about the drive back up to the starting position. Now obviously that will restrict your movement within reason, but it might allow you to get to a certain depth without feeling like you're not going to be able to get back up. So it's just something you might be able to use as a little bit of an aid for the next set or for in the future. So arms raised again, we'll go through 12 more. Set the feet, 12 squats. 2. Keep driving them knees out and also keeping that chest as high as we can. And relax. I'm hoping that was 12. Okay, so we've just got one more set of those to do. Quick break, and then we'll move on to our next exercise. So going into this last set of squats, we want to try and think about, can we get that little bit more mobility out of it now? Can we just try and force the barriers a little bit, even if it's just an inch deeper without pain? Then we try and go for that, just so that you can try and force a little bit more out of the body. Hopefully it's starting to feel a lot more pliable now, and it's moving a little bit easier than it did when we first started this. So last set, foot position again, raise the arms, 12 reps. 1, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Okay, so our next one, we're going to do a sprint stretch. So this is going to be on the floor. So if you're lucky enough to be outside, you might want to pause it and then get a mat or something that you can put your hands on. I'll just deal with it for today. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a press up position, and then we're going to drive our leg outside of the hand that's leading. So it'll look something like this. So we'll get into our press up position, and we're going to drive the left leg by the left hand. So up, drive up. If you can only get to here, that's fine, but we drive up, try and get by the hand, and then we're going to do what we've been doing all today, which is jam that knee into the elbow into the knee, and we're just going to drop the back leg and try and push the chest up and hold it for 3, 2, 1, and then we rotate and we'll alternate legs. Same again, get that foot up, jam the knee in, chest up, and then back. So this one doesn't take very long in terms of holding the stretch, but each time we're going to try and see if we can get that chest a little bit higher, drop the hips at the back a little bit lower. We're going to try and stretch out all of this anterior musculature. Okay, so press up position and drive the left foot by the left hand, up, knee in, drop the back leg, get the chest up. So 3, 2, 1, and we're going to do 5 on each of these. So 3, 2, 1, switch. 3, 2, 1. And switch. This is 3. Switch. And last one. And we can relax. Okay, so key is with this, if you couldn't get that foot all the way to the hand, then obviously this time we try and see if we can get a little bit more. Now you're used to the movement a little bit more. If you're finding that this is quite easy, then obviously we're trying to force the hips a little bit lower and try and keep that chest right up. So you can make it a little bit more difficult by elevating. So if you were to step onto a step to add a little bit more range, then you could do that so that you've got something to drop into. But we'll leave it as it is for today for me. So next set up, left hand, left foot, up, drive in, really force that chest up, get that knee down, and switch. Switch. Go. So this is set 3. Pull those shoulder blades back. So this is set 4, chest up. Good. Last one. There we go, and have a rest. Make the most of the sunshine outside for a change. Okay, so we've just got one more set of this to do, and then we move on to our last exercise for the day. Okay, so let's get on with these. You don't need too much rest in between these, especially if you're doing this for a warm-up. If you're doing it for a warm-up, you only really want to have like 20-30 seconds rest in between these, and it just gets you sort of heart rate slightly elevated maybe, but the main aim is to get more activation through the muscles. So we'll go for the last set. Left foot by left hand, up, knee out, really squeeze that stretch on now, and switch. Same again, and switch. Chest up, knee out, that back knee down. Here we go, so number 3. And back. 4. Okay, fantastic, that's your sprint stretch done. So we move on to our last one. Cool, so our last one is going to be a press with a T-spine rotation, so adding that in again. We're going to start in our normal press up position, and all we're going to do is rotate round, squeeze through the T-spine like we have it through the previous 2 exercises as well, and then we're going to rotate onto the opposite side, okay? So just for demo, this is how it's going to look. So you press up position, and then you're going to set, rotate round, reach. Try and keep them hips facing forwards, and rotate round and back, okay? So what we're trying to think is, it sounds a bit strange, but if you had sort of lasers or lights leading from your hips, we want to keep them facing towards the ground. We don't want to rotate all the way across so that we're facing them out to the left or out to the right. There's no need for that. What we want to try and do is, same again like we spoke about earlier, is get this T-spine to rotate on its own rather than just all of our torso. Okay, so the idea with this is we do 5 rotations for each side, and we do 3 sets again like we did on the previous set with the sprint stretch. Right, so up into your press up position, we'll go left side first. So we're going to go round, rotate, and back in. Rotate the opposite side, and back in. Really reach all the way around, brace through your core, and last 2, really reach all the way around and back in, and then we're done. Okay, so we've got 2 more sets to do, and then I'm done, and you can carry on with your day. So you might have heard me say then, brace your core. So what you're trying to do with bracing your core is keep from your trunk. So basically anything around your trunk is not just your abs, which is usually a common misconception, but everything around here that's attached from upper to hips and just below, that's your core. So, but if we can brace through your tummy, and the idea is you usually think of bracing for a light punch or a jab or something, so that you'd automatically try and protect yourself here. So if you can do that through this set and think about here, that'd be great. And then you can carry on trying to aim for that as much range of motion as possible. All right, so set 2, up, press up position, brace that core, squeeze and rotate, and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, good, keep squeezing for range. 2 more, keep that tummy braced. 10. Good, hopefully that felt slightly different. So keeping that braced should make you think about everything a little bit more. You'll find this, like even if you're in the gym day to day, like bracing through your tummy will make a massive difference for all of your exercises, especially when you're looking at things like compound lifts. So things like squats, deadlifts, makes a huge difference whether you can brace this or whether you go into your exercises completely almost limp through this chain. and it kind of has a massive effect all the way down or up through your lifts. So that's something to really take away. All right, last set, and then we're done. So left arm again, brace, reach. So 6, 7, keep that tummy braced again, reach right round, and relax. Not as intense, but still I've got a sweat on doing it outside, so it can be really useful in terms of getting you moving as a warm-up, or just if you want something a little bit different to try. Hopefully you can take some of these into your gym sessions, so when we're allowed back in gyms, you might be able to incorporate some of these into your warm-ups or your mobility, so that you're constantly looking for a little bit better technique or a little bit of range of motion. But that's the end of the video for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.